After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.
Welcome to Winning Wednesday. We are here for another exciting Wednesday full of information that we can win with. I am so excited about today's guest. He is none other than Derrick Harris, aka the Mind Guy STL. He has 15 years of federal service in the areas of acquisitions and procurements. And for entrepreneurs, you know that we know what that means, right? However, his favorite pastime is helping people think about what they're thinking about. Now, I didn't think that was a thing, but when I call him Coach Derrick. When I met Coach Derrick, or I just simply call him Coach. When I met Coach, he's what you're thinking about. Let me help you think about it. So we're going to dive into how you can help others think what they're thinking about. I couldn't help but to say that he's also releasing a book, The 52 Days of Fruit. We're going to learn what that is. And like I said, I've been knowing him since my elementary years. I called him the quiet guy because he didn't say much, did a lot, but didn't say much. But I am so excited that he has decided to start saying a lot, going along with his doing a lot. So coming to you today on this Winning Wednesday is none other than Coach Derrick Harris, aka the Mind Guy, aka Mr. 63106 from the zip code that they said you wouldn't make it. Hey, right. Coach.
What's up, Iris? Appreciate you. Yeah, you know 63106 back in the day in the 70s was a hot zip code, right? Mm-hmm. So they said we weren't going to make it, but now look at us. We standing up, we standing tall. So.
Look at you, Coach. You doing your thing. And I am so excited because just like me, we were neighbors. I left out the part where I might call you, hey, neighbor.
Right.
But
right.
I am so excited, for you to join me on this platform and just share your wealth of information because it's that time that the Mind Guy STL, voice is heard.
Right.
So today's conversation, we're going to talk about the commercialism of New Year's resolutions and what is a New Year's resolution and why they fail, just tons of information. So let's just start this conversation. I'm just ready to dive right on in.
Right. Let's get it.
You talk about the commercialism of New Year's resolutions. Now, tell us a little more about why do you feel like New Year's resolutions are commercialized and how we should approach them.
Right. So as you know, just the holiday season period is a commercial opportunity for all these vendors in America, basically to make money off us and put pressure on us as citizens to go out and do things. One of the things that we do in this season is people like to go out and create what they call New Year's resolutions. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I don't do them and I don't believe in them because I think we should be setting goals all year round and then throughout the year, compartmentalizing those goals over the course of the year and then just breaking it down and doing little by little to achieve those goals over the year. So me personally, I don't do it, right? Mm-hmm. But, there's people that do and it's all preference, right? And so one of the things I want to do is just really kind of share with people and let them know that, hey, don't fall to the undue pressures of the resolutions, right? Mm-hmm. Statistics show us that most resolutions fail by Valentine's Day. So you New Year's Eve, you kick it in, you having a party, you champagning it up and all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And you're saying you're going to do a New Year's resolution on December 31st. But statistics show and state that by Valentine's Day, February 14th, most people already fell off the wagon, right?
Oh, yeah. So that's just putting that. Why is that?
Yeah, that's just putting pressure on yourself. One is because people basically are setting goals that maybe are too lofty, not realistic. A lot of people think that they can eat a 40-ton elephant in 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Put the elephant on 2 pieces of bread in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
So you're
yeah,
gonna teach us how to cut that
yeah,
elephant up, coach?
yeah.
You're
We're
gonna
gonna
teach
talk
us how to
about
break the elephant down?
yeah. We'll talk about compartmentalizing a little bit, right?
Okay.
So just make it manageable. It's just do some things that are business activities for whatever your goals are, and then just basically go about it, step by step, instead of trying to eat a 40-ton elephant like you just said on 2 pieces of Wonder Bread. Not going to happen, right?
Okay.
So we'll do that. We'll get into a little bit of that. One of the things, another reason why it fails, people make these resolutions, so to speak. They go out and incur all kind of debt, and then when they get that first bill and look at the bill and look at the statement for all the stuff they just bought, and here it is, Valentine's Day already, and they already fell off. So that discourages people. So now you're tussling with the debt that you're trying to pay off, and not even really focusing on the goal that you set on New Year's Eve. So just little things like that we can talk about, Iris, and kind of help people get an understanding of how they really can tackle this if this is what they want to do.
Yes. The people help me, coach. Help me. So let's talk about the compartmentalizing of the goals, right?
Right.
We set these big goals every year and we want to get it done. It's January, and by March, I want to increase my credit score. I want to lose 30 pounds. So I want people to understand that the tools that you're given can be used, whether it's a financial goal, a health goal, and a career goal.
Right.
Right? Because I've had some coaching from you and I've applied it to different aspects. Which, before we get into compartmentalizing, let's talk about how you apply coaching. Like, what's your background that you use to, apply your coaching?
Great. So, like you said, you've been knowing me for a long time. You know me as the guy that's sitting on the porch waiting on my ride to go to practice or some game, right?
Right.
So I got an extensive athletic background. I was able to play junior sports, high school, college. Went to NFL, tried out for NFL teams, went to Canada. So I had a pretty decent journey athletically. And what people don't know and understand about athletics is that it's a breeding ground for adversity and teaching you how to move and operate in and out of adversity. And so what I do as it relates to coaching and taking those principles of athletics, I take those same principles and apply it across my life, right? So it's certain things that I do and certain things that I'm accustomed to doing as it relates to playing sports. I just translate it over. So take, for instance, everybody that knows anything about football knows it's 4 quarters in a football game, right? First quarter, you're just trying to fill it out. You're looking at your opponent, seeing what they're doing to you, see what you can do to them. Second quarter, you're trying to fine tune it. Third quarter, hey, it's time to ramp it up. Fourth quarter, it's time to get it. Right? So in my life, let's just take, for instance, at work even, nobody has to come tap me on my shoulder in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year and tell me to turn up the volume. I already know just based on how I'm wired and how I get down, I already know that the fourth quarter of any period, work, life, relationships, or whatever, it's time to get busy and take this thing home. And so I just translate that stuff that I gain athletically and just translate it over to personal work. It's just called transferable skills, And so those are things that I picked up along my journey of life, starting at 7 years old.
Yeah, and I love that coach and player technique or mindset when you are managing a team or trying to reach goals collectively. Like, it's just an easy way to show them how you can win collectively.
Right.
All right. So let's talk about compartmentalizing your goals, because I have my pen and paper ready.
Okay.
So
cool.
How do we compartmentalize our goals?
Let's just start with some basics, right?
Okay.
Let's just talk about what are the benefits of compartmentalizing your goals and compartmentalizing your process steps to reach your goals, right? So one of the things that you can benefit from compartmentalizes is that it reduces the stress of trying to attain the goals, right? So imagine you sitting in the middle of a parking lot right, at a cookout or a bonfire, and somebody says, here's 2 pieces of bread. I want you to put this 40-ton elephant on that 2 pieces of bread and make a sandwich. It's not going to happen. However, when you get a coach in your life, and your coach might say, well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to start chopping this elephant down. We're going to bake some of it. We're going to put some of it on the bonfire. We're going to put some of it in the oven. We're going to freeze some of it. We're going to give some of it away. Whatever you're doing with it, you're breaking it down and making it more manageable, right? And so when you do that, you take the stress away from, using the analogy that I just used, 2 pieces of bread and a 40-ton elephant. You're starting to reduce that stress because now you got little bitty pieces of the elephant broken down, and you decide which ones you're going to attack, right? So the main thing is it reduces the stress level of trying to obtain a goal, right? And then the goal, like I just stated, becomes more realistic. And then it also increases your ability to stick to the goals, right? So you want to have that ability to, when you set goals, you want to have the ability to stick to it and drive it to completion, because you already said, this is my goal to do X, right? And so whatever X is, somehow, some way, you put it in your mind and put it in your spirit that that's what you want to do and that's what you want to obtain, right? But when you break it down and you compartmentalize it, it makes it more manageable. You reduce the stress. It also increases your ability to stick to it, right? So those are the top 3. And then 2, to add to that, it builds confidence, to drive the goal to completion. And so you need confidence when you're doing this stuff, because some of the stuff is challenging. And so we'll get into that a little bit, because you want the goals to be challenging, but you also want them to be achievable, right? So it builds confidence. And then last but not least, it puts you in a position to help other people. So part of this whole journey is, we want to help ourselves, true. We want to do stuff for ourselves, true. But if you're not helping other people along the way, then kind of what are you really doing it for, other than a selfish reason?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So can you give us an example of compartmentalizing a goal?
Yeah. So let's just say, for instance, let's just say a person wants to take a credit score. That's something real simple. That's something people are familiar with and people want to work on, right? So say, for instance, you have a credit score of 700, and you say, I want to take my credit score within the next year up to 750.
Okay.
Right? So your starting point would be 700, and then your end point is 750. And so all the steps in between that are your business activities that allow you to gain and progress through your process steps to get to that 750. Right? So those are the things that some of the things that you can do. And so what I like about compartmentalizing this is that when you create this list, and you identify what it is that you want to do as it relates to the business activities. And then you also have to identify when you're going to do it.
Okay.
Right. So if you say, I want to raise my score 50 points from 700 to 750. Well, when do you want to do it, Iris? Oh, probably in the next 300 or 400 years. What? No, that's not even realistic, right?
Right.
Just based on where we are on our birthdays. So just set realistic goals and just say, hey, you know what? I want to raise my credit score 50 points. I'm at 700. I want to go to 750 and want to do it in 1 year. Right. And then you start listing the things that you want to do. Yeah.
Okay, because you can't give them too much, coach. Now, if you want more information or want to be coached by the mind guy, let's see, where can they follow you, coach? Where can they hit you up in the DMs to get some of this good coaching? We're going to tell them the steps in between. We got to get them to call you. Okay, give them your handles, IG and Twitter. We got them on the screen for you. Tell them, coach.
Yeah. So IG, you can hit me at the Mind Guy -STL. Twitter, you can hit me at the Mind Guy STL. And if you want to send me an email and have a little conversation back and forth, you can hit me at themindguystl@gmail.com.
Great.
Yes.
Okay, so you have this wealth of information. And we all know that in the community, it starts with our leaders. Someone has to mentor. Someone has to take the guys on the journey. but the men that are charged with this has to be healthy and strong and financial literate and things like that. So let's just take a look at one of the programs that you are affiliated with in the St. Louis area, which
Right.
I hear that this is going to be national. So in one of my many stops, Dallas being one, I'm hoping to partner with you guys here and in St. Louis as well,
Yeah.
Chicago and wherever else is going.
Yeah.
Iris in the city is going with it. So let's just take a look at this program and kind of talk about it after we watch this brief clip.
Okay, great.
The name of the organization is called Moving Upward, but this particular program that we have is under Hooping for Hearts. And basically what it is an early detection of hypertension for men over 30. We thought this was a good opportunity to combine exercise with the health initiative.
Okay, I became a part of this league because I'm a member at the Old File and YMCA Rexplex. And being up here about 7 to 8 years, I met a guy named Hayes who told me that he was going to be starting a 30 and older league for young adults around St. Louis. And it's based around our hearts because in the young community, we have a lot of people such as myself that has high blood pressure and a lot of times be sick and ill and does not even know it. So that was basically the reason why I was very excited to be a part of a program like this.
That is an awesome program, Coach. Everything I do is placed around my heart. That is why I share information like this. So I just love that. And then guys don't like going to the doctor. So that is a way for them to get their checks and things like that in the environment in which they're comfortable so that they can go out and mentor. So tell us how you are involved with that program and what people can do to participate and make it stronger.
Yeah, basically, I've been knowing Byron Hayes over 25 years, right? So that's my boy, and things that he do in the community, we try to support him. Things that we do as a group and individually in the community, he supports us. So I felt this was an opportunity to put it out there and let people know that he's doing this thing in St. Louis, but he's looking to also do this in the surrounding cities. And then, like you just said, Iris, potentially get it down in Dallas and some other cities, and then make that known around these different cities as it relates to getting men to understand the dangers of hypertension, right? Mm-hmm. While still getting exercise and then playing the sport that they still love, right? Mm-hmm. And so then connecting those people in those different cities and from those different communities is nothing but a plus, I think.
It is. It's a win-win because then those guys are strong, healthy, and can give back to, their communities. And then that's one way to connect with our youth through the sports, right? And most of those guys coach and give back or referee. So it's good to see them out there doing the things that's important for their health.
Right.
So let's get right back into this resolution thing. Because if you don't know, this is my free coaching session. I'm being
Right. I get it.
As we talk about reasons, you kind of told us the beginning, the reasons why some, resolutions fail. People give up too early. It takes too much time. But let's talk about your what and your why.
Right. So,
how can people, because you often ask, and you ask this to my son, and sometimes he have goals, but he don't know why he have them. He know the what he want, but he don't know why, and things like that. So I think that's important when helping goal set, drilling down the what and the why. Can you speak on that a little more?
Yeah, just to touch on that just a little bit. Is everybody can come up with what, right? Mm-hmm. I want a house. I want a car. I want to go on a trip. Those are what's. Those are things, right? But why do you want them? And that's where people have the difficulty connecting. And so when you can't come up with why you're doing something, which is your purpose, right? What drives you to do what you do? What drives you to get up when you don't want to get up? What drives you to do stuff when you just think, hey, I think this is a dead end. I don't want to do this, but you still go anyway. The why is getting you to that point. Mm-hmm. So in understanding your what and your why, that's your driver, right? Mm-hmm. And that why is a part that is really the part that sustains your ability to keep moving when you don't even want to move, right? So it's important to understand what it is and why it is.
Yeah. So I know what and why. I just need to make sure I'm compartmentalizing because we all want to go from here to here. But what's the number one thing we must do to even reach a goal? What must we do to reach our goals? What's the number one thing?
I think the number one thing is you want to make sure you set challenging but achievable goals, right? So that's part of your journey, making sure that you're setting yourself up with situations and business activities that is just going to yield you success. So again, you don't want to do something that is just so super easy or just so super hard that either way you don't do it. You want it to be challenging but achievable. That's the number one thing. Second thing you want to do is make sure that you declare starting and end points for the goals. So using that analogy that I gave you, your starting point and raising your credit score is at 700. Your ending point is at 750. So now you have those two parameters set and you know what you need to do. And now what you need to start doing is following the process steps that you're going to start building between 700 and 750, right? That's what the meat of the sandwich is, right? So understanding that.
And the key word is start. That's
Yeah.
Coach would check in with me on a project. I would tell him, and some people you just don't tell you starting a project unless you really want to finish. Coach, Iris, where you at with that project?
Right.
All coaches on the show, you ain't started.
Right.
So
Right.
key word is start. Coach taught me that you have to start. If you want to get anywhere with anything, you must start. Any type of movement in the process, but you got to start.
Right.
You
And
gotta
Iris,
start.
you got a lot of people that are in the technology. I'm still a pencil and paper guy. I like to write things down because it makes me feel intimate with what I'm writing down and what my goals are for the year, for the day, for the month, or whatever. Right. So I still write things down. So what people do is they lean so heavily on their technology, and that's not a problem. If that's what you're doing and that's your thing, then do that. Whatever you do, like you said, the key thing is to start. Right. But I use what they call a descending order metric tool, which again, my goal like is 750, and then I work down. And once I get my list built, right, then I work from the bottom up. And so that as an ex-athlete puts me in a mind of competition. I'm going up, I'm climbing, I'm achieving, and I'm gonna reach the top of the mountain. And the top of the mountain is to get that 750, right? So that's what I do. I don't tell people what to do or how to do it. All I'm saying is do something. Pick something that's going to work for you. Pick something that's going to hold you accountable. And again, just start, right? Then you want to clearly identify those activities in between the start and the end periods, all right? And then what's really, and we do this and we do it informally a lot, but you want to solicit a trusted accountability partner. So you want to have somebody that you can trust that's not going to beat you up for not doing what you're supposed to be doing or just because you fell off. But you want to have somebody that's really going to hold you accountable to the things that you said that you want to accomplish in your life, right? So make sure that you pick a person that's solid in that area. And then once you do that, share the plan with that person and making sure that they understand what your goal is. And then that way they know what to do to help you get on track and stay on track if you happen to fall off. And then once you do that, just set a schedule. It doesn't have to be every day. You know, it can be once a week, you know, once every 2 weeks or whatever, but set a schedule with that accountability partner. That way you guys can check in with each other and making sure that you stay on track. All right. And if all fails, right, if you fall off, don't quit and don't panic. Just simply get back on track and get back on the journey. Right. And by you writing that list and doing your start points and your end points, you'll know exactly where you fell off. And so if you happen to fall off, just look at where you are and get right back on and start moving down that journey.
Greetings, sis. Thanks for watching. I know you're getting all this good information from Coach Derrick. Do you have a question? This is your only chance to get a free answer. The answers are not free. The game is sold, not told. So if you have questions, feel free. And my guest of the day or my watcher of the day is Leslie, because she said my shirt was pretty. So
Okay.
thank you, Leslie.
All right.
Well, Coach, you have given us some valuable information. And coming from that 63106 zip code, you definitely don't sound like a guy that they can put in the category of not succeeding or didn't make it, or you're just a no excuse kind of guy. And we need guys like you to speak up. That's why I'm so glad that you went from Mr. Quiet Guy to the Mind Guy. You know, it took a minute, but you're ready now, you know? So
yeah, about 40 years. Right.
now he speaks. So for all of you from the JBL area,
Yeah.
he speaks. You see, he
Yeah.
can talk. He don't
Yeah.
just get to the ride with his baseball bag on his back. He talking between now.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
I'm just really excited about everything you have coming up. Give us a quick snippet about the fruit, 52 weeks of fruit. Tell us
Okay.
what fruit stands for.
Okay, so
write this down.
Yeah. So for me, in order for me, so you and I have a relationship. Again, we've been knowing each other since the 70s, and childhood, friends and neighbors and stuff in the neighborhood where people said we weren't going to make it, right? So we already have an organic level of trust. But when you go into new people's lives and then you encounter them, say, for the first time, you got to forge these relationships in order for people to be comfortable with talking to you about intimate stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So fruit for me, this is what the mind guy come to bear. I bear fruit, right? We think about fruit as it relates to our bodies and nutrition and stuff like that, but very seldom do we think about fruit for our minds and our spirits. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I came up with this and I derived this and created this when I created the mind guy. Fruit stands for forging relationships, utilizing intellectual teachings, right? And so through just intellect and conversation and just fellowship, we're going to help each other grow. And so that's very important that we know and we understand that. And you hear people say all the time, well, he just won't talk to me or she won't talk to me, where there may not be a relationship there. So you got to work on that relationship and forge that relationship in order for that person to feel comfortable dialoguing with you. So that's very important in these relationships and helping all of us grow. So yeah, 52 weeks of fruit, Iris. I'm gonna be leaning on you. January 2022. I want to have this thing out on the market. So
we're gonna have it on the market, Coach.
Yeah. So we're gonna meet. We're gonna meet and do some stuff and put it out there. It's already written. Just got to do the final steps to get it out there and get it into people's hands.
Yes, and you can catch Coach Derrick sometimes in the gym. We ain't gonna say which one. I don't know if we still over there at the Buddha Center. I don't know if Buddha open. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm over. I go to Buddha with my boy Coach 3. We know it's still open.
We go over there to Buddha Center.
The building's still open.
Please reach out to Coach Derrick if you're in the St. Louis area. If you are in the education field, he's a good speaker to come out to the schools, talk to the young guys, wealth of information, and just always willing to give up himself in the community. So thank you, Coach Derrick. I know I have called you many a days. I'm a mom that stayed in the gym, so I had to make sure I was doing the right things or asking the right questions when trying to communicate with my young men. So I appreciate you for that. And my young men sometimes consisted of teams of 3 and 4 teams of little guys pulling on me for things. So thank you. And for my personal young men, I thank you for always being available.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Iris. I really appreciate you allowing me to come on the platform. I appreciate you allowing me to share some fruit. I appreciate you guys spotting Byron Hayes and Hooping for Hearts. So this has been a fantastic opportunity for everybody all the way around. So again, thank you, and let's keep doing it because we all we got.
That's right. So you coming back before, I guess around Valentine's Day, so we can see how goal setting is going.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, right?
We might have to talk about how to heal a broken heart or something for some people. I don't know. Well, thanks, Coach. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining me on Wednesday. Until next week, set up the play and put yourself in position to win.
After the accident,
I was stuck paying all these medical bills.
The Witherspoon Law Group understands that you didn't deserve what happened to you, but you do deserve justice.
They weren't just there for me, they fought for me.
I care about what my clients are going through. We are in the fight of their lives.
We don't just fight for you, we fight with you and make sure you get the compensation you deserve.
And that's why we do what we do. And what we do is win.
Call 844-WE-WIN-44.